laying the dude, the sky was enough to do.
Strength and honor. Strength and honor.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Why so serious?
I could crush you, let go what him. At my signal, unleash hell.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Hey everyone, and welcome to a happy Monday night here coming to you from Johnson City, Tennessee.
Hello, hello, hello.
Where freedom still remains. We don't need no CDC to tell us we have masks here. We can just rock them, not roll without them.
I did notice we went to the grocery store today, and I'd noticed that there was a higher percentage of people without them today.
Yep.
They've always been in here. They've always been a mix, and you weren't looked at kind of cross-eyed to go in without it. But there was definitely more people today without.
Yeah. So,
but still a good number of people with, and definitely people who I would have stereotyped to have said that they would have gotten their vaccine already.
So let us know that you're here, that you're watching, where you're watching from. In case you don't know who I am Jason Perry, former atheist, former Navy SEAL, former Boston SWAT. Security expert, and now turned Patriot Crusader. We're on this show. It's all about mentoring people on how to be Christian warriors. When I decided to start walking this path, the resources were very slim and nobody was really doing it. So we stepped up and filled that. And this is my amazing wife.
I am Mrs. Patriot Crusader, Lauren. And also former atheist, and that's about where our similarities end. Girl next door, wife, mama, and happy to be living this lifestyle now, though it's never something I expected to be. But I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to be here.
Yeah. So a lot of good news, believe it or not. We actually got a wave after wave of good news today, which is pretty rare. So. Yeah, let's get into the first one, which is I'll pick the Second Amendment.
Yes.
Unanimous decision, meaning even the liberal crazy judges got this one right, that you can't do warrantless searches and take firearms from people.
Yeah. So distinction between this and red flag laws, which is important because I know the initial reaction was, oh, that's good, that's red flag, but no, it's not. The difference being warrantless versus
court ordered,
which is the red flag version of this. But it does open the door that there might now be more successful arguments against red flag laws. But yeah, so this stemmed back to a case from a man in Rhode Island who he had some pistols and he had gone in for a psych eval after an argument with his wife, and his wife had told the cops that there was some guns in the house, and they lied to her, I guess, about the situation, and they went in and did this search and seizure of the firearms. And then he had the grounds for this case, which the lower courts ruled against, and then they brought it to the Supreme Court and they ruled in his favor. As Jason said, surprisingly unanimous, which means it was very clearly, they're saying, breaking the Fourth Amendment. So that's a good one. Good win.
Yeah. And then the next is that the Supreme Court's going to be taking up a hardcore abortion case pretty soon.
Mississippi. So lower courts on that one, they have ruled, overturned. Mississippi, I believe, had a law that's saying that you cannot perform an abortion after 15 weeks. lower courts said that they couldn't have that law in place, and so the Supreme Court has agreed to hear it, which has all the feathers ruffled for the Roe v. Wade people, because this will potentially
This will
open
probably be the
doors
heartbeat
for
bill.
some.
This will be the heartbeat one. So,
and again, I mean, I'm pregnant now. I'm about nine-ish weeks along, and it's like every day and every week that go by, I'm getting all of my, pregnancy tracker alerts and about all the body parts that have formed already, and the heart that's forming, and all of the human aspects of what's going on to this little life that's in me, and I'm not even close to the line of this abortion and law. So yeah, again, it boggles your mind. Anyone who wants that to be a life in that moment, you can absolutely justify that it's a life, but anyone who doesn't, they can still talk the way around it.
And then the third piece of good news comes out of California. You want to talk about that? And it's not Ken Graves, but Calvary Chapel and all the churches in California just scored a major victory.
Yeah. So if you remember, I think this was it last Monday that we said, it's a bummer. Ken was supposed to be here, but he had been praying over court case their case for Maine going to the Supreme Court, and their case got bumped for a long time through the summer. But he was like, there's some really good news coming. There was a major decision. He couldn't share many details. So we were like, it's probably something out of California, because he's like, this will be the domino effect. So just saw someone who's associated with the church there posted a big thing. So do you want me to read this whole thing? So it says, complete and final victory in California. Having terrorized California churches for over 1 year with his draconian and discriminatory COVID restrictions, Governor Gavin Newsom has now waved the white flag of surrender. In Liberty Counsel's case against him, we have obtained a permanent statewide injunction prohibiting him and the state of California from ever issuing another COVID restriction on any church in the state unless that same restriction applies to everyone else. No more church closings, no more capacity limits, no more singing bans, no more masks. Not more, not ever. The church is once again free to be the church and to care for its people as the Lord leads it, not as government dictates. The Constitution has been fully restored and vindicated in California. Once approved by the court, this will be the first permanent injunction in the nation. We believe it will be followed by many others and numerous other cases that we are continuing to pursue in Illinois, Kentucky, Maine, Virginia, and elsewhere, coast to coast. We are determined to ensure that the constitutional violations we have witnessed over the last year will never be repeated again against the church. It has taken us 1 year of vigorous and aggressive litigation in multiple courts at the same time to bring Governor Newsom to this point of surrender. Our team has invested thousands of hours into this case alone. We filed at least 2 motions for a temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction in the trial court, 2 appeals at the Ninth Circuit, 3 emergency motions for an injunction at the Ninth Circuit, 3 emergency petitions to the United States Supreme Court. We lost initially at seemingly every turn. We were ridiculed by judges, lawyers, the media, and even some misguided friends. This case is not winnable, they said, not in California, not in the Ninth Circuit. But God, He orchestrated a miraculous turnaround, and suddenly our losses were turned into victory upon victory, leading up to this permanent injunction. Now, if God had stopped there and only given us this permanent injunction, it would have been enough, and He would have still deserved much glory. But He didn't. He made our victory even sweeter. Remember how in Exodus 12:35 and 36, we are told that when Pharaoh finally let the Israelites go, he didn't send them away empty-handed, but gave them Egypt's gold and silver to take with them. For the thousands of hours that Governor Newsom required us to spend to bring him to justice, he is now required to send Liberty Counsel a check for $1,350,000 to reimburse us for a portion of the enormous investment we've had to make to defend the church in California and across the land. The Lord has turned Governor Newsom from the number one enemy of the church to the number one contributor to Liberty Counsel, a staunch and tireless defender of the church. Only God could have orchestrated so deep and wide a victory. We give Him all the glory. Thank you for your fervent prayers and for standing with us during this battle. Your prayers have sustained us and have moved the heart of our Lord onward.
Praise the Lord on that one. So, we're going to have to strengthen honor in that on Friday.
Yeah. So I'm sure that Ken will probably have some more news and insight from all of the inner talkings. And I'm sure that this is he's probably anxiously awaiting for this to impact the rulings in Maine as well. So it'll be interesting to watch the ripple effect of that. And hopefully it comes quickly.
So a couple people I want to say hello to who signed on here. Steve Raleigh, good to see you, Steve. John Farras, good to see you. And then Corey Baldwin, howdy, y'all. Keep fighting the good fight. May God continue to bless you and your family big time.
Thank you, Corey.
Hey, thanks, Corey. Welcome to the show. We are just really thankful for our audience, and we kind of wanted to do a few things tonight.
I found one other good news thing.
Oh, go for it.
Share for it. So right as we were beginning I came across this article saying Tennessee governor signs bathroom bill protecting access to biological sex. So regarding schools, so saying that schools cannot allow transgenders to use bathrooms that are intended for the biological opposite sex. They have to provide another facility that is kind of equal access, but it does not have to be the one or cannot be the one of people of the opposite biological sex. So go home state.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Tennessee's been crushing it lately. The other thing, there's a couple things I want to talk about today. One is I had a revelation to me, which just means that I finally got wiser to something from reading the Bible and from doing my time and, watching The Chosen and everything else. I'm always brutal on the disciples. They drive me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're hanging out with Jesus, for God's sake. They're hanging out with Jesus. And they whine and complain and moan and fight. They are hanging out with Jesus. And I have been merciless on them. And then it finally, slapped me upside the face like a, baseball bat one morning. I'm lying in bed. And before I get out of bed, I spend some quiet time while I'm making sure my back didn't go out the night before and just getting my, the last few minutes of peace. And I'm just thinking about Jesus and I'm thinking about the disciples before I pray my prayer in the morning. The Lord's, thanking the Lord and blessing him. And it just comes in. I'm like, I get it now. It was all about expectations and, every one of those disciples that Jesus picked thought he was going to be some war hero in this awesome epic, war story where they were going to be conquering. They were going to be, Benaiah and all these mighty men.
We had a similar conversation, especially after, I think it was episode 3. I think they touched on it 2 and then 3. And they were talking about how, some of them kind of, spent their childhood prepping for this, physical engagement, physical battle kind of in support of their.
So here they are. They think they're with, the Messiah. But, it always, as an atheist, when I was an atheist, I'm no longer obviously doing, but I would, it was always, if Jesus was so impressive, why were they all knuckleheads? Like, why did they all feel? How did John deny Jesus? Not John, Peter denied Jesus 3 times to his face. Like, how did they all fall so flat on their face so often?
Still human.
Well, because they're still human, and they thought he was the Messiah. I'm not really sure they thought he was the Son of God. I think they thought he was like maybe Elijah or Moses or all these chosen people who were holy men and prophets. But if you notice the radical shift from, moaning, complaining knuckleheads to fanatics after Jesus rises from the grave. And now they're all willing to be tortured and hunted and, and killed in the most horrific ways rather than renounce Jesus, which they would freely do on the front side of that.
Which they did do. Yeah. It's hard to know what was going through their mind. I think there certainly was some of that. I mean, having the death and resurrection obviously is you truly can't deny that. Having witnessed that, you truly can't deny that. So whatever, I mean, it's hard to know kind of on this side of it, knowing what room for doubt there was still in their minds up to that point. When, as you say, kind of in reading it, you're like, they saw miracle after miracle after miracle. How could they still have had these doubts and still have acted the way they did. So yeah, it is interesting that it did take that.
Well, just think about it. So they all think they're going to be, badasses, right? And Jesus takes them, like their first trip is to place people they hate in Samaria, and he's healing them.
Well, as you said, they expected to come in support of the lion, and they are now tagging along with the lamb.
Yep.
And so, yeah, those expectations can be crushing.
So, the mentor in me, was trying to reason through this. I mean, you can pretty much follow everything Jesus does in here, and you'll be great at anything. Mm-hmm. But here in the mentoring portion, Jesus had to overcome so much inertia, 2,000 years of Old Testament, telling them that it's going to be one way, and he's going to come here and overcome that.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and it just kind of hit me again, maybe that's because not all of us, because Jesus knew all of us wouldn't be believers right away. So he put up with it, because if those knuckleheads would go through that, and again, it would show a change, and again, it puts an exclamation point in what changed between pre-crucifixion and post-crucifixion disciples wise. Mm-hmm. And they all became just crazy, passionate, crazy is the wrong term, but extremely devout followers of Christ.
Yeah. Which we should all now be, right? Because we have the perspective of both sides of it too.
Right.
And how many of us are truly like that?
Well, this brings me back to our interview with Paul Lavelle of ORW. Mm-hmm. And he was doing a prayer with, like, I don't know, the most powerful people in DC on the conservative side, I think. Mm-hmm. And, they had him come in there, and they're like, hey, how can you heal the way that you heal? I mean, Paul's done some verified, amazing healings.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you guys can do the same thing. You just don't believe you can.
It. Yeah.
And it's like, once you're fully in tune with the Holy Spirit, and you have, confessed your sin, and you are walking with Jesus side by side, mm-hmm. I believe that you can do all that. Now, a lot of us are still doing a lot of stupid stuff that is holding back, and that's why our prayers are bouncing off the ceiling, mm-hmm. and why we're not able to do the things and that we are anointed or chosen to do as the saints of this church, of the saints, as being saints for Christ.
Well, I can feel myself even just in reflecting, and I've had this same experience before when we've talked about Paul and his saying, you guys can do it too. Anyone can do it too. You have to believe it. You can do it. And I'm catching myself in the moment just saying, could I really, I'm having that doubt. So I immediately know why I can't, because I'm having already doubt of how would I be able to do that? But
yeah, well, I remember Paul talking me through one of the healings that he did.
And can you give them an idea, if you recall, the level of healings? Has it been cancer, or like what kind of things has he healed? Do you recall?
Yeah, I believe it's been cancer. I believe it's been addictions. I believe it's been a bunch of different things. I'd have to get him on here, but where people will fly him across the country, mm-hmm. for him to come heal them. Mm-hmm. And Mike Ferruccio was present for one of them. Okay. He's sitting there, and this is the guy who lets them use their ranch, mm-hmm. in Colorado, mm-hmm. for ORW, Operation Restored Warrior. And his son, something terrible happened to his son, whatever, and they can't figure out what's going on. He asked to bring him home, and they asked for Paul to show up. And Paul's like, holy smokes, Jesus, you got to come through for me on this one.
Yeah.
It's like, if there's one you got to come through for me on, and this is the one you're going to come through for me on.
Yeah.
And of course he did, but I mean, I think everyone's gifted with different things. I think Paul's gift is healing. I was watching kind of a behind the scenes of The Chosen just a couple of days ago. It was something that happened on the set
of filming season 2. And I guess it was someone, he sounds like maybe he has a show or like a podcast or something. And that this wasn't, that he has some experience being a healer as well. And so he had donated or contributed in a way that he was asked to be an extra for The Chosen. And there was a video of him just kind of when he was hanging out, and there was this older woman who was also an extra, but she had like debilitating arthritis in her knees. Had a really hard time walking. I think she could walk, but it was a really hard time walking. And he, put her hand there. It's on film. He put his hands on her and, prayed over for like 6-7 minutes. And she got up, pain was completely gone. She was walking completely normally. Awesome. And there was people there who were kind of verifying that it was a true change. It wasn't just her like, yes, I was healed. They were like, wow, she never would have been able to do that.
Well, and again, I think it's got to be both people believe.
Yeah. You have to believe that you can be healed too.
Right. So, which either makes it a miracle or the most intense placebo effect ever.
I'd imagine that could be the case in some things, but there's certainly some physical conditions you can't placebo your way out. You
had cancer one day and you don't the next.
Yeah.
So here with you, Grace. Okay, William, thank you so much.
It was a great show. It was an interesting interview this morning on the Hope Report. If you missed it, go check out the Hope Report YouTube.
So I've made a decision for everyone out there on what we're going to be doing with this property. And I wanted to bring it to you guys. There's such a need for this, and every one of the testimonies that I'm hearing, there's one reoccurring thing, and it's a lack of mentoring and discipleship.
Yes.
We could have headed off every one of the tragedies of, and the sufferings of everyone's life who I've ever mentored by proper discipling.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not going to open up a church here. I'm going to open up, PCM is going to continue on here, and we're going to turn it into a nonprofit, and we're going to make it a men's mentoring mission here, where men come to learn how to be, strong Christian warriors and spiritual leaders of their family.
And it might evolve to being a women's as well. Right now, I don't have the bandwidth to dive into that equally. So it will start as men's, and we'll figure out the other pieces as it grows.
Yeah. I just feel like, I grew up without that. And I really think that there's so many people out there who grew up without that, without a strong mentoring male presence in there. And I'd love to use, former military and or police officers as mentors in that. So
yes, it's dual purpose. It's giving those people who often come out of the service and they are floundering around, not feeling like they have a drive, a focus. And so it's saving them from the dark path that they might go on to by giving them the purpose of helping the younger generations that that might go off on their own wrong path. So I think it's a great combination of using two needing groups.
Awesome.
For each other.
John, I would be honored to have you be a part of it. There's a lot of guys who watch this show and gals that I would love to have a part of it, because there's going to be a part of this. Like Lauren's going to be teaching classes from the female perspective, to the married guys.
So men can understand how us women tick.
Yeah. And remember,
is that a thing? Is that even possible?
EBC, Eves be crazy. So Lauren's going to get up there and tell you you're not crazy. Eves be crazy. Yeah. I watched my 2-year-old daughter go through it. I mean, she's bipolar already, and she's only 2.
I try to tell him it's a toddler thing, but he's like, no, it's because she's a woman.
Well, William, that's awesome. Lauren, can you?
William, I'm gonna find you on Messenger, on Facebook, and I will send you Jason's number.
So, yeah, hey, Candace, good to see you. So, we're gonna really work on that, and it's gonna be everything from teaching them how to work out, how to be their own body's mechanic, teach them how to do, how to fight, how to stand up, fight, how to grapple. We're going to teach them how to change oil in a car. how to change a tire, how to hunt, how to fish, and then how to be the spiritual, champion of their family and how to lead in that family. And then, how to walk with God and to live the Christian warrior lifestyle. And that's, I want to be a force multiplier with that. And I want to train guys to do that. And I just,
we'll have to have Ken out to teach all of the workmanship stuff.
Yeah, I don't have the works, but I would love to, also, teach them work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
How many people don't know how to work? I mean, trust me, we just moved to a red state, and the red state has a lot of great things, but so far work ethic hasn't been really high with the craftsmen that we've had. There's a certain I'd almost call it mañana time or a lack of attention to detail that I've found here, whether it be the Lowe's that's made like a mistake every turn of the way to people who've worked on our houses and a million other different things. So, to fighting with, the people, the truck driver, the supervisor of truck drivers to deliver things here. There's a can't do mentality that I didn't think would be here. But again, maybe we can help with that. And, I just, maybe that's just
William, I just sent it to you.
So, I, again, love it here. It's been 21 days or so, and we have yet to see a BLM sign, we believe sign, a Biden sign, or anything like that. Everyone's been super nice and polite.
You found a, basically a Tennessee strong Facebook group, right? And you've been very reinforced. I got accepted.
Oh, good.
I answered my questions right, and but that you can see that there is a sense of concern. People are very relieved to hear, oh, okay, we have a Patriot coming in to reinforce us. And
so I introduced myself to the group, and I said, listen, hello, Patriots. This is who I am. I am here to help in any way I can to keep Tennessee free. So let me know how I can help. And, told them a little about myself, told them a little about the show, all that stuff. And it's all been great.
Yeah.
So sorry. So Melissa just she said, Mike just called me abruptly. Oh, how did you get that background? Apparently he's been watching and he might be able to come on Monday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Cool. You got Mike at a Mike Lindell interview on the Hope Report on Monday. Stay tuned. Trying to track him down. He's a busy guy. But that would be great. I think that would be Jason's been doing some fantastic interviews. If you haven't had a chance to tune into the Hope Report yet, definitely do. Most, but not all, have been interviews with someone, a guest each time, and just spending an hour to 90 minutes or more on their testimonies. And they've all been unique and very powerful and very, I think certain people will be blessed by different ones, but I've been able, I've watched all of them now. And, there's certainly things from each one that either just a good point or a good way of framing something. So I think that if you have the time to pop that on while you're in the car or whenever it's convenient for you to listen to an interview like that, definitely do.
Looks like we got an 858 number calling in. So I'm trying to get it right now. So hold on, let me see. Robocaller picked it up.
William, would that be you?
Yeah, it's him.
Okay. And yes, Candace, America Pride.
America. All right, let me make sure I got this. William, are you there? Hold on, let me turn you out. Hey, I gotcha. Hey, it's great to finally hear your voice, brother.
I can't.
Yeah, old guy,
Okay. Hi, William.
Hello, Lauren. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, we really we got you on the phone. We really appreciate your donation to the cross.
Thank you so much.
The donations came in just doubled the size of the cross, or at least the width. We're going to use 6x6s. It's going to be a foot wide. Now, 2 6x6s bolted together by 8 feet tall by 5 feet wide. So it's going to be really cool. We're so pumped about it.
I'm listening to your other message there.
Hey, William, do you have the
Hello,
podcast?
Lauren. You guys look so sweet.
Do you have the podcast on in the background that you could turn the volume down? I think we're hearing ourselves twice.
Yeah. I
Okay,
think,
I've turned it down.
Thank
all
you.
right, no problem.
Okay, anyway, I was calling. I can't hear what Jason's saying.
No, you're good.
Go ahead. William, can you hear us? We still hear the show on in the background, which I think might be throwing you off a little bit.
Okay, I can hear you. He was talking about the cross.
Okay. So, so right now, William, why don't you go ahead and tell us your testimony? I know that you wanted to talk a little bit about your out of body experience. Go for it.
I certainly do, and I've told many people about this. Anyway, I was at home, and it was 10 years ago, March 29th, being the heathen that I was.
It's weird. I'm hearing. Yeah.
If you could just completely mute it, that would be great.
Okay, because I can't hear Jason's responses or yours.
Can you hear him through the phone?
You can't hear us at all?
No, without my... I can hear you talking on the phone now, but I see your lips moving.
Okay,
there's a little bit of delay, so don't even bother with the screen. Just treat it like a phone call.
Yeah, just treat it like a phone call, and it'll be great, good to go. So go ahead and tell us your out of body experience.
Okay, it was March 29th, 10 years ago. Quit my dogs now, my kill pound rescues that I do. Anyway, I was sitting here. I had a 16-year-old daughter that was with me, and she was visiting friends. It was evening time. It was kind of cold. Last thing I remember was just before dark, I got up to turn the heat on. Nothing for 5 hours. During this time, I was laying on the floor, apparently. And sometime during this, when I was out of my body there, I looked down. I'm 2 feet above my body.
Wow.
I'm looking at myself laying there dead.
Wow.
Brown stuff was coming out of my mouth. Had congealed, so it had been there a while. And I never prayed before. I never cared before, because being a combat vet and did some evil things, in defense of my country. I said a prayer mentally only. And it was, please, Lord, just move my dead body away from this door where my daughter will not come in and step on me and be traumatized the rest of her life.
Oh, man.
All of a sudden, I was encircled by a green, yellow, brilliant, luminescent light. There were no angels. There were no family. No one. There was no tunnel. I was just encircled. It became the warmest, caring, loving, no fear, nothing like it on earth. And the love was 10 times as much as I've ever felt for love for anyone.
Wow. Praise the Lord, man.
And something kept saying, low voice, go back in your body. Go back in your body. Go back in your body. I did not want to go back in my body. It was wonderful where I was at. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, I'm back in my body. I cough twice. The light disappears. I get up off the floor like nothing had happened.
Wow.
I had an upset stomach. So I walked to the bathroom, regurgitated, went to bed. Now, this is like 9 o'clock or so. And my daughter came in, and she walked in the house. Dad, did you drop some water on the floor here? And she'd stepped in the water where I had been laying, and I had cold, because I always check my weight. I had cold sweated 5 pounds in that cold when I was in that in the light there. Mm-hmm. And she said, "What are you doing in bed, Dad?" I said, "You always stay up," because I was typing a lot of combat stories and selling them to magazines and things. You're always up to 1 or 2 o'clock. And I said, "That didn't feel good." I didn't tell her what had happened to me because I thought I was hallucinating.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
6 days later, I get up out of bed, I grab the wall. I can't see. And again, brilliant lights behind my eyelids are going as fast as you could even think. And I got on the floor, and I'd put her name on the speed dial on my phone. I crawled, got the phone. I knew I'd practiced because I knew something was wrong with me. I hit the button. She answered. I told her, I'm dying. Come home. She rushed me to the hospital. I was in ICU 16 days. They took off. I weighed 200 pounds and was 5'10". They took off 60 pounds of water from my heart and lungs and said that I was clinically dead from congestive heart failure.
Wow.
They brought me home, put me in bed with an ambulance to die if within 5 years, if I stayed in bed and maintained the diet they had. The VA gave me a health care person for 8 hours a day while my daughter was in school. And after a month, I didn't like her giving me sponge baths, so I fired her. Now, I got out of bed. The VA gave me crutches, scooters, all this stuff, and I would get rid of them one at a time. Within 3 months, I was where I could get around again, and I wasn't going to die laying in bed.
Good for you, man.
And we had an event up there where I used to fly on a combat helicopter in Vietnam from that squadron I was in, Al-3 Seawolf. And she took me up to an event for Gary Sinise. They had 7,000 people there. And I had never told her about this event, this out of body. So we get there, and I'm standing outside the bird, camouflage, beret, the whole thing. And all these people around, we were given the opportunity because the bird was fully armed with rockets. They were demilled, of course, 50 caliber, M60s, everything that we carried in Vietnam. And through this crowd, I mean, you could see this guy. It looked like he was about a foot taller than everyone else in this immense crowd. He come walking through. He pops out the front of the crowd, and there's this lady about 5'2" in front of him. And she was probably 40, 50. And it was his wife. So she comes up to me, and like a rude, and got in my space and put her finger in my face and said, "You've been there." And that voice. And I've been a lot of places, lady. I've been all over the world. I'm retired military. No, you've been there. Tell me what happened. I'm backing up from her. So I told her what I just told you guys about the event. And someone heard us and called her off to the side. And I'm asking her husband, looking at this 7-foot guy, approximately. And I asked him, I said, "Does she do this all the time?" He said, "I don't care where we go, in town, wherever. She'll drag me at least a couple times a week across 4 lanes of traffic to go up and tell someone, 'You've been there.'" I said, "Did she say where there is?" "No, it's just there." So she got through talking. She comes back over. She said, "Push your sleeve up." And I did. She put her small hand around my... Oh, and I asked the gentleman, I said, "She sure has a rough voice for a small person." He said, "That's not her voice."
Wow.
When she came back from talking to the other person, I pushed my sleeve up. She put her little hand around my wrist, and she said, "Close your eyes and tell me what you feel." Closed my eyes. She squeezed my wrist. An electromagnetic sensation went through from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. I had never felt nothing like that, even when I had been shocked with electricity. And I have not been sick a day since with a cold, nothing like that.
Wow, praise the Lord.
And I turned around to tell these guys that, "Did you just see?" And when she was talking to me, her voice was a sweet voice, a normal voice,
Wow.
not that rough voice that she's pointing her face at.
Yeah.
And I turned around to tell the guy, "Did you just see what happened and what I felt?" I turned back. They're gone in the crowd, and there's no guy a foot above everybody else walking away.
Interesting.
Wow.
Where did she go?
Wow. That's
and
great.
I'll stand in any church, any place, and raise my hand and testify to this. I did not hallucinate when I had that out of body.
Well, that's
and
amazing.
I did not see the beauty of everything. in my daily life. I did not care. And I had PTSD, and I thought everybody was coming to kill me. I slept with weapons and run my family off except my daughter. And that's all gone now. I do kill pound dogs. They rescue me. They save my life. I can never pay back these dogs from the kill pound. I can never pay them back for what they've done for me. I am 80 years old and the happiest, the believer in my life of I have ever been.
Praise the Lord. That's great to hear, brother. Oh, we love having you a part of our community and our family. You know, seeing your name pop up every day means a lot to us, and we appreciate you sharing your story with us, William.
And I'll always be part of your family. You'll be part of my family. And my daughter's gone now, and I got my 4 kill pound dogs. I've done 21 so far.
Good for you.
I will do kill pounds till they die because no psychiatrist could help me with PTSD. Never. And these dogs cured me.
Yeah, that unconditional love that only dogs can do is just, it's magical.
And anytime you need something and I can help.
Appreciate it, William. We're so blessed that you support us. We really are.
So thank you, my friend. Thanks for calling in. I really appreciate it. You can call in anytime now that you got my number.
You guys have got me reading the Bible. Awesome. And I tell you what, I've read it before, got nothing out of it, and now it is the best book to read in the world.
Praise the Lord. Isn't it magical how that happens?
I'm understanding.
Yeah.
With you guys there and the other people you have, I'm understanding what I'm reading.
That is that when that happens. When that happens, everything starts clicking, right? I mean, you can read that if you're not ready for it and get nothing out of it. And then you start reading it when your heart's open, you're in tune with the Holy Spirit, and boom, every line is a revelation. It's amazing.
It is. And you know what was puzzling? When I first started reading, because I read this before, and I was reading about all the sex going on and all this and living to be so many years. And then I got to realizing that was to populate the country, the Israelites and everything. I said, wow, now I know. I thought it was a porno thing.
Yeah. No, not so much.
Getting him drunk, sleeping with their dad, you know.
Yeah.
There's still some weird stuff in there.
There's still some weird stuff in there, but there's some really good stuff in the Genesis project. If you read that,
that's where I'm at now.
Yeah. Well, if you go through there's a show called the Genesis Project where all these creation scientists prove that Genesis happened and how people lived. And it's just amazing. As a former atheist and a scientist, I wish I had been exposed to that because I wouldn't have gone down such a dark path for so long. But William, your story of a happy life at 80, I think is inspiring to many people because a lot of people, they start feeling life has passed them by, and to hear you as happy as you are and as blessed as you are, it's just great.
Hallelujah.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good night, Will.
And this, another thing, I ride with a Bible. There's a Bible right here. Never before was that happen. Now I ride with a Bible. I drive down the street and you see these people walking along, holding their hands, and older people, young people with their children and stuff. I reach over and touch the Bible, look up at the sky and say, thank you, Lord. And people riding with me say, what did you just do? I said, something that you need to do. Get
awesome.
Happy.
Yeah. Awesome, brother. Thanks for calling in. We really appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, guys. And thanks for all you've done for me. You put me on the right path. I've been watching you, and sometimes I'm a little late, and I don't want to be put on report for being AWOL or UA. But,
you're going to pass. We know that you'll go back and watch.
Yeah, we know that you'll rewind and go watch. We appreciate it. You're good to go.
Have a great night, William. Thank you so much.
All right. So Troy Wade said, awesome testimony, William.
Yeah.
And then looks like we have a new viewer. I haven't seen AAA before. Have you?
Yeah, no, I haven't.
AAA, welcome to the family. The wife and I went to Knoxville last week to look at law schools for her. We are hoping the housing market becomes a little more affordable for us by next year. We would love to meet you two one day. God bless you both.
Yeah, awesome. So Knoxville, you're about 2 hours
you're
from us.
2 hours from us, yeah. But depending on where you're coming from, you'll have to drive by us.
It's an easy drive.
Yeah, Knoxville's a great town. We just wanted a smaller town.
Blue there than you are here, but
yeah. Yeah, Knoxville is definitely more liberal than Johnson City, but again, that
It's
is
still a good town.
still a great town.
Yeah.
So again, welcome. And next weekend, not is it next weekend? Memorial Day weekend.
It's a
Saturday. Can we get a date for that?
29th, I think.
Okay, I want to get this right. Yeah, it was a great call. We love having William.
29th.
On the 29th, we are having a cookout here. For everybody in Johnson City who hears that, you are welcome. To all of our listeners everywhere, you're welcome. Just tell us you're coming. We're going to create an event.
If you want a potluck, that would help.
Yeah, that sure would. But we're going to create an event, and we're going to have people over here, and we're just going to have some fellowship.
He was wanting to put a big yard sign up in our yard for everyone driving by.
Yeah, I did. I want to welcome our neighbors in.
Yeah.
I mean, but they're all family. They're all kin. So you tell one, I'm sure they're all know.
The street and the word will spread.
I mean, we could yell throughout the holler, I imagine.
Yeah.
It would echo enough.
There's plenty of other people yelling.
Yeah. So, and
they probably are sick of me hearing calling Odin by now.
Yeah. Well, I'm sick of yelling for Odin.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's we're gonna have a cookout, and hopefully everything lines up to where Joel wants us to put the cross together and carry it up there as a team,
like Jesus.
That would be about 1,000-pound cross.
You think it's gonna be that much?
I think it's gonna be heavy. It would at least be 4 6x6s. So how heavy are 4 6x6s?
So they're in Illinois. To us, Knoxville is conservative as it gets.
Yeah. So let me say 6x6 pressure, or 6x6 by.
Well, so I was like
10.
In thinking about William's story, testimony, you hear, and actually I'm curious to watch. There's been a movie that I've seen. I can't remember, Miracle Boy, something boy. You hear these stories now and then of people who've died, and they've gone to heaven, or they've had some sort of kind of that white light Jesus encounter and a conversation with Jesus, and they come back and they share these things that there is no way that they would have known. And there's this movie coming out. It's about a little boy who died briefly and went, and he came back, and he was talking about having met his sister in heaven. His mom had a miscarriage, and he'd never known that. And meeting his grandfather, his dad's dad, who he would have never met. And so like saying all of these things, and his parents start to realize that he's true. And so it becomes this whole thing in that town. So
very cool.
And I mean, those stories, they always give you chills, because there's enough about them that you're like, that's true. And there's and I shared that story with you about the woman who died in the hospital, and the first thing that she asked for a paper when she came back.
Yeah.
And she wrote on this paper, "It's real." And the nurses said, "What's real?" And all she did was she pointed up. And so someone who was related to her got this tattoo of her kind of scratchy writing after she came back to life, the "It's real" tattoo. I thought that was pretty cool.
That is really cool. So at 10 feet, it's 140 pounds. At 12 feet, if we're able to get him, it's 168 pounds per stick, per pole. So we got 4. So it's not 1,000, but it's
4 times. What do you say?
140 or 168.
All right, that is it.
It's a lot of weight.
That's a lot of weight.
You want to do the math there, college kid?
It's a lot of weight. 6 something.
Yeah. So that's a lot of weight to be walking up that hill. I mean, that's a long walk.
Going to the tall hill.
We're going to the top of the top of the top.
So you could drive it in the Bourbon to the base of the hill.
Well, I think we could drive it to the base of the hill. I think it depends.
At the base of the hill.
I think.
Why don't you construct it at the top? Oh, Joel wants to be carrying.
He wants the visual of 10, 12 dudes carrying that sucker.
Yeah, that would be a story. You'd be
that
talking
would be
about
cool
that for years to come.
It would be a great movie to make, video.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be great.
That would be like your intro video for this men's ministry that you're doing.
Oh man, now you're gonna make us do it. All right, everyone, make sure you come ready to sweat. We're carrying 600 and something pound cross up a big
And
hill.
I wish we could offer you some water to dip in afterwards, but our pond has completely dried up. So
Well,
that's a no-go.
yeah. So holy smokes. But I mean, I think I could actually drive the bourbon up there the back way on the left side.
Maybe.
Going up there, hanging a right,
There's
and then
still
hanging a left.
but we can you don't want to you could maybe at least get it part way.
We'll have to
Part
see.
way's better than
But
no way.
Yeah, but
I don't know. Joel's probably going to talk you into doing the whole thing.
Well, Joel better be on underneath that cross with me.
That's what he's training for, right? I mean, he's there every day training to carry his cross.
Yeah, it will be, William. But that's, like I said, that's over 600 pounds up a hill like that in some places. Like that. It is a steep hill, and it's long. I mean, it's a 15-minute walk without that on your back.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome. It'll be awesome. It'll be a story that everyone who's on it, everyone who put some skin under that is going to be changed. I'm telling you, they're gonna take that with them.
See, it certainly sounds like you're talking yourself into it too.
I am. Here we go.
I'll video it.
Yeah. You sure you don't want to get under it, Lauren? I mean, pick up your cross, right?
I'll contribute to a corner.
Daniel, happy Monday. Hey, how's it going, brother? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the family. So yeah, I think, on the 29th, our goal is to put it together. I'm going to try it right now. What's separating the dates of us doing that? I know you're going to be here, Steve.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Steven has offered to contribute.
He's bringing paint.
Well.
He brought the whitest paint possible because we want to paint it white and then put up solar panel lights around it.
Yeah. So Steven, thank you so much for your contributions as well.
Yeah.
And for being willing to carry the cross.
Yeah. But the only thing that'll hold us up from doing the 29th is right now they're out of stock. They have 6x6 by 10s in. They don't have 6x6 by 12s in or 6x6 by 16s in. So by all means, video Lauren, thanks.
Gotcha, William.
Yeah. Don't encourage her even more to slack.
It's not slacking. It's
slacking.
my part.
You're documenting.
The documenting is just as important.
Yeah. So you guys haven't heard this story yet. So Lauren is a pretty interesting gal. So one day we're in the garage and we are, we're in like full contact gear, like helmet on and boxing gloves, right? And and we let Lauren wail on us, right? Yeah. And one of our role players, was like, holy smokes, I got a headache. And Lauren's like, oh, you got headgear on. What are you whining about? So I'm like, oh, really, huh? Yeah, yeah, totally. So she was being a sass monster. So I'm like, hey, wait a second, Lauren. Put on this helmet.
It hurts, guys.
And she's like, holy smokes, that hurts. Like, yeah, it hurts. It just takes away the most of it, but it still sucks.
I was humbled. I'll admit it. You should have B and Odin watching you eating ice cream while you carry the cross, and Lauren can video. Good plan, Candace.
Yeah. No one B because she wants to help. I help.
I do it.
I help. And during that, she just makes everything harder. Yeah. But it's cute.
Yeah.
I do it. I help.
I do it. Well, I was able to get her to start using her words instead of just making angry noises when she wanted to do something herself. So now we get a lot of, I do it, please. Me, please. I do it, please.
The best is she does great Lauren impersonations.
Yeah. That's not cool.
Enough!
She puts a lot more flair into it than how I ever have said it to her.
It sounds the same.
I've said that to the dogs, not to her.
Dylan, enough!
Can't get away with anything with kids, man. You all know. We're at that age.
Yeah. Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we found a preschool wanted her to go get friends.
Yes, B
Because
needs some
she's like
friends.
Miss Social. She loves people. So we're like, the nanny thing's keeping her in the house too much. So actually found a preschool here. They've all been booked up. And so found a highly recommended one of the church preschool programs around here. So, but it's like a school year thing. It's like August starts school. And it's kind of weird to think of my little 2-year-old going to school, but headbanging to music too. Oh my gosh, you should have seen her dancing this. Holy flailing around.
That girl's core is like iron.
Mm-hmm.
Like what the side bend she does because of all the side to side dancing she does. She can plank. She could do the iron cross right now. I swear she's a beast.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing I was supposed to call the
You're supposed to
gymnastics
call
place today. Yeah.
You didn't call?
No, I arranged her preschool instead.
Well, yeah. I mean, holy chatty Kathy, that
Yeah.
receptionist had you on the phone for like 30 minutes for one question.
Yeah, I asked if they make their kids wear masks, and I got about a 30-minute answer. They're very proud of their COVID policy at this church. So we'll see. I was like, we'll see.
Check with builders for a source. All right, Troy, I definitely will. So, Troy, when are you going to bring by the shirt samples, man? I want to order some shirts. I'm tired. Wait till you see, I've got some great designs that I want to work on with you. And
Troy is a local guy who we got. Who gave you the name? Joel. Joel. And he does making of the merchandise swag stuff. So what we right now outsource to Printful, he hopefully will be able to do for us locally. And he's also a good dude. So it's nice to have another friend in town.
Yeah. So you got to come by and bring those shirts, man. I want to get cracking. I mean, people are telling me they like my, these PCM shirts that I have, the I am a Crusader on the back. That we went into the local taco shop, and every time I wear one, everyone tells me they like it. So,
did you? I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So, I want to.
Whereas in Charlottesville, we'd be like,
yeah, in Charlottesville,
Bible verse.
They would hide their kids behind themselves. So, Victor, deep Victor tonight. Deep Victor. I'll give you a call back, Victor. I promise. I've been in the middle of stuff when you're calling. So, the willingness to carry water for others is a definition of a warrior soul for healing our inner soul sadness. We must listen to spiritual wind, sun, water. We find our choice of good versus bad. Man, you're getting a little shamanistic there, man. Little shaman. Just getting a little shaman there. But that's some Victor coming deep. Victor coming deep. But yeah, I think that as far as the way the property is going to go, I thought about a few different things to try to raise money for the compound or for the lodge.
What will this be? So this so he did when was that? Saturday. So they haven't heard. So he hiked, and there's like an even higher point that we hadn't found the road up to yet. And
me and Pastor Joel.
It is mountains,
360 mountains, and I'm like it's screaming for an all grass
and it's
sanctuary.
Yeah. So your thought is building kind of like a lodge,
building like a big lodge,
a communal area for groups.
Yeah,
with housing.
Yeah, with rooms to stay in there.
Mm-hmm. So this would be people come for the 4 to 5 days, kind of.
Yeah,
like
yeah. Okay. Again, we'll see how it goes. I mean, the program isn't designed yet. Right. We got to figure out, duration of lengths and what's effective and what isn't. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we're going to build a big lodge with a big sanctuary where you can, get 360 views of the mountains and spend time with Jesus and, big, roaring fireplace in it and, just amazingness. That's what I just saw coming up there. And I'm
possibly kind of building as needed, some smaller kind of like sleeper cabins.
Yeah. Around. Yeah. I mean, I think that we could do, some, single bedroom sleeper cabins.
And then our house. We need our house.
And then our house at some point. But the lodge is the most important. And then, we want to build it so it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. And we want to build it so that we can, to continue getting funds in, use it as a wedding venue and things like that. for all that. So you're gonna bring them tomorrow. All right, you heard it, peeps. Troy's gonna bring them tomorrow. If he doesn't, he's gonna be like every other Tennessee business person who said they were gonna be there and never showed up. I'll tell you, the Tennessee work ethic has not impressed me so far, Troy. Be different.
Got our painters in trouble.
Oh my God, they're awful. If I showed you what they did and what they charged us, it would be criminal.
But they fixed our mold problem, so
yeah,
good on them.
Yeah. So in the end, I wish them the best. The house is painted, and now we can actually unpack.
Our dirty walls are dirty no more.
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
And now we can actually unpack.
Yes, yay!
So,
so Troy, just let us know what time tomorrow, and we'll hold you to it. You get like a 20-minute buffer.
He's depending on where he's coming from.
Okay.
I'll give him an hour.
An hour. Oh, generous.
This
okay, you can be an hour late.
I'll give him an hour. This is the South. I'll give him an hour. On time isn't really a thing down here, from what I'm seeing.
Well, we're the better late than never Perry train, so we look good here.
Yeah, we're like over punctual.
15 minutes is our.
So now we're like the first to show up.
Your workout guys have been good, though.
They have.
They were out there already.
Yeah.
Doing that thing this morning early.
So week 3 of working out still going strong for me. So, started week 3, feeling the changes, not surviving the workouts anymore. The inner athlete in me is kicking in, and it's great. This time, most of our workouts are really safe, meaning that, when we do pull-ups, we deload on the bottom and not clunk into your shoulders and all that stuff. So we're doing a lot of great stuff, and, just can't wait. Like, I'm already looking forward to my workout tomorrow.
That's awesome. And you said that right now you've been walking for recovery walks.
Recovery walks.
That's coming to an end. It's going to be recovery runs again.
Yep. It's back to running. So, Victor, 2 of 2. We find our own inner moral compass in the good-bad balance. We pray for untimely goodness versus evil, to not guess or could have, train for peace and keep our street clean, not to judge. I think I need to do a shot and read that again. I think I need to eat some gummy bears, some of your favorite gummy bears.
That's probably what's been going on there.
to get
Victor.
there.
I think some of your other ones have been better.
I mean,
but this is deep.
I mean, this is poetry, right? I mean, you're not supposed to get it the first time.
Right.
Right? You got to read it over and over and over again, and each time it's something different.
I haven't been reading much poetry recently. I've been watching a lot of Moana.
Oh, but you can sing it all.
Can. And so can be.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's cute.
It's very cute.
Of all the Disney shows, I think that's the best one.
Allowed to watch.
Yeah.
Troy
said, "Oh snap!"
Laid it down, Troy. So you haven't told us what time yet. You haven't locked yourself into.
Yeah, you want to choose a safe time. Come on, Troy. You can be the first person in Tennessee to
impress him
to actually do what you say you're going to do and do it on time. Other than Joel. Yeah. Joel has been spot on.
Joel's been here.
Yeah. Yep. So
no, he's still not committing.
He's still not committing. He's still keeping his options open.
Kingsport. So you're coming from Kingsport.
Yeah.
You're about half an hour from us.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you the address. You know the address. He's putting it in Google right now on his phone. So,
all right.
But anyways, I think that is good enough torture for you guys tonight. I'm going to see, hopefully Ken Graves got his microphone and internet and everything else squared away, and he'll be back on Wednesday. Hopefully. I haven't checked with him yet. I know they're investing a lot of money in getting it straight. So I hope, yeah.
Oh, good.
So hopefully we'll have a booming connection with Ken very soon.
Yeah. That'd be great. I'm sure everyone's anxious to see
Yeah.
him. It's been a while.
Actually be able to understand everything that he says
Yeah.
instead of hearing the mountains grind together. So again, for all you guys out there who are hanging out with us tonight, if you want to support this program, you can support this program in several different ways. All of them free, and only one is not free. So the free ways, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe, right? The best thing you can do is share this video for us and get the word out. We are fighting all the algorithms because we are a Christian conservative company or podcast. And the fact that we use the word Patriot and Crusader, of course, means, they think we're terrorists, which, I mean, it's, back when I created this name, it wasn't a bad thing.
How ridiculous is that?
Yeah. Yeah. So anything called Patriot just makes you the worst.
Flag and our logo.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's terrible.
Blasphemy.
Yeah. So, so like, share, subscribe. You can also go to our podcast on Apple Music, Spotify, whatever, and Google, Amazon, all of them.
And while you're at it, find the Hope Report also and do the same for the Hope Report.
Yeah.
His Mike Lindell effort.
Yeah. And, write a nice, kind review there. We would really appreciate that. The other ways you can do it is you can buy our swag, which is on our website, patriotcrusadermission.com. We've got a ton of t-shirts, we got sweatshirts, we got hats. This hat is one of them. The last is Patreon. So again, we really appreciate you watching the show. Victor's got some more poetry. 3 of 3, keep your mind clean, feel your weakness, and work to practice, not perfection. Love all, and stop evil when safe to do so. A spiritual warrior knows to use their skills when needed.
That last part is very true.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 8:30, is that 8:30 p.m. or a.m.?
I think he's going to be prompt in the morning.
If he's going to be prompt in the morning, we'll still be working out, but you're more welcome to come by.
You'll be finishing up.
Yeah.
You'll be finishing up.
No, we don't finish up until
8:30.
No, you'll be there. That's perfect. Because 7 to 8, 8:30 around that time. So yeah, that'd be perfect, Troy. I will see you then. You guys heard it. We're going to tell you next show. Anything else you want to cover, Lauren?
I think that's good. I think I was happy to find some good news in the news.
Yeah,
nice
for once.
Change.
Yeah,
so,
it sure was. All right, everyone. God
faith.
bless you, and